thank you for tuning in. Today is episode 8, I think, of It's a Free Life. I might be off on the count, but it doesn't matter. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit about catcalling and kind of women as objects in general, and just kind of my thoughts on that. I do have some questions about that as well. So when I'm talking about catcalling, I'm not talking about, being physically attacked or raped or anything like that. I don't support being violated in any kind of way. The only violence I do support is self-defense. So when I'm talking about catcalling, I'm talking about people whistling at you, strangers, etc., whether they're making comments about the way you look or things that they want to do to you or whatever that might look like. I think that this has probably happened to a lot of people. I know that it's happened to me before. I don't really see the issue with it. I know that feminists like to talk a lot about it and make it kind of into a bigger issue than it really is, and talking about how, all men do this or all women experience this oppression and how it's just the absolute worst thing in the world. And I just want to be a different voice out there, and I just want to say that it does not bother me. I don't think that it's something that needs to be seen as super negative. I understand the feeling of kind of being uncomfortable. I've definitely, been in situations where men have come up to me, they're standing a little bit too close to me, they're saying some inappropriate things to me, they won't leave me alone. I know that feeling, and I used to have dreadlocks, so that definitely, especially where I live, that definitely just screams out to people, that you have drugs, or that you're super friendly and outgoing, that you just welcome, that strangers, super close to you. And I'm not the type of person, I love affection and I love being physical with people, but with people that I know. If I'm not vibing with you, I don't want to touch you, and I don't want you in my personal space. So I've dealt a lot with that, and again, I get that it's uncomfortable, and I used to be in a place where I wasn't very confident, and I wasn't, I didn't have the balls just to say, hey, get away from me, or, fuck off, dude, or whatever, anything like that. I would just, be a little shy, I would be uncomfortable, but maybe I was showing it a little bit, but I wasn't, being aggressive or being assertive, I guess. And I'm definitely in a different spot now. I haven't been catcalled in quite some time, but I think that if it did happen to me again, or if, someone was really close into my space, I would definitely either physically get them away from me, or I would make a scene or something along those lines. So I don't really get why being attractive to other people is so negative. I think that women forget to realize that things like wearing high heels and putting on red lipstick and showing your cleavage and wearing a short skirt, I totally get that it feels good to look good. I'm definitely one of those people. I feel much better about myself after I've cleaned up, after I've washed my face and brushed my teeth and fixed my hair and put on clean clothes and, put on some makeup and all those things. I totally get that. But women forget to realize that being attractive and doing all of those things to yourself to be more attractive, whether or not you tell yourself that you are just doing it for yourself, you're biologically doing that to attract men. And I feel like if you tell this to a feminist, they just get so upset. And they feel I don't know, almost like it's taking some kind of power away from them or something. But it's not. It's not bad to be attracted to, or to be attractive to other people. I like seeing attractive people. It's almost like seeing kind of a work of art, It's or seeing a flower, or seeing anything else in the world that's beautiful that you can just kind of stand and just admire it for a second. Even if I have a boyfriend, so I'm not trying to, attract anyone, or I'm not trying to get with anyone that I see that is attractive, but I definitely do appreciate seeing attractive people, men and women. It's nice, it's not, I don't think that it's a negative thing. And I don't mind, I realize that sometimes, the other day when it was hot outside, I wore short shorts and a crop top t-shirt, and I was comfortable and I was fine, and I'm pretty modest. I don't ever really wear shirts that are lower than this. I don't show my cleavage. I really try not to show off myself off too much, but people still look at me, and that's just a part of life. And I don't get why someone saying that hey, you're beautiful, or hey, you're super sexy. If someone comes up to me and they say that, I am wow, thank you. I feel good about myself. And I get it. Maybe a lot of times it happens, unattractive people come up to me, or people that just have a weird vibe that are just kind of creepy, they come up to me. I get that. That's not always the most comfortable. But the thing is, too, that feminists, like, if men were coming up to them and, like, strangers coming up to them instead of catcalling them, were, like, getting down on their knees and just, like, praising them or doing whatever they think is, you know, acceptable, they wouldn't be complaining about it. But because it's not happening to, like, the best way that they want them to, or if they think that there's, like, a better way that they could be catcalled, then they have to complain about it or, like, make it a problem. And I just don't get it. I mean, maybe if a feminist out there is watching this, you can tell me, like, maybe there's just something that I'm missing here, but I do not get it at all. Something else I don't understand is just kind of women being portrayed as objects. I mean, I get that women are, you know, enjoyed for the way that they look and for their sexuality, but again, like, those are all biological things. Those same exact things happen to men too. I have seen so many feminists saying, like, oh, women shouldn't be objects, and, you know, how dare you just want to only look at a woman, and blah, blah, blah. But then, on the other hand, like, then they're posting pictures of men without their shirts on, or they're just only talking about the looks of certain men. But it's always a total double standard with feminism, and that's exactly why I'm not a feminist. I watched a video recently, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was kind of pro-feminism, talking about women being objects, and here are all the examples in society of how women are objects. And a lot of those examples were just things like strippers and prostitutes and things of that nature, sex workers. And I'm like, what? But those women are choosing those things. Like, those women know that their bodies are going to be used as objects for sexual pleasure, and they're choosing to do it. So they are agreeing with that, and somehow that's oppressing women. I don't get that at all. I don't think that using your body to make money is oppression. I think that it's totally fine. I think that it's like any other free market thing. It is a way to make money, and people are good at it. You know, there's definitely a demand for it, so women and men are supplying that demand, and I think that that's perfectly fine. You know, it's a voluntary interaction, whether you're going to a strip club or you're a porn star or a stripper or a prostitute or anything like that. It's, you know, that's fine. If you want to be treated as an object for sex, that's fine. Why should I have a problem with that? Why should I say that you're oppressed because you're doing that? I think that women forget, like, other women choose these things. Other women like being attractive to other men. Not all women think that it's bad that men look at them or whistle at them. So just, you know, keep that in mind. Other women aren't necessarily oppressed by these things. Other women they accept these things, you know. Other women use their bodies to make money, and they don't think that it's a bad thing. And it's not, right? Like, I think that when you take responsibility from someone, you are taking their power. So when women say, oh, sex workers or strippers, they are just completely, like, they had no choice. They didn't have any responsibility in them making a decision, and they are just being oppressed. That is just completely taking away their total responsibility and total control over their actions. That, to me, is not empowering. That is the opposite of empowering. If I want to empower someone, I say things like, you have complete responsibility for your actions. You have total control over what you do. That is empowerment. That is like, wow, okay, I'm carrying around a lot of responsibilities. I've got a lot to do. I have a lot of things to think of, not taking that away, which is exactly what I see feminists doing, and feminism in general, is just taking that responsibility away from women, while on the other hand claiming that, like, they want women to have more control. But, no, those things just don't line up at all. I think that if you're an attractive person and you live around other people and you don't want people to look at you, then maybe you should go live in the mountains, or maybe you should, try to disfigure yourself somehow, or do something to your body so people won't look at you if it's that big of a problem. But because you find it uncomfortable, don't assume that other people find it uncomfortable, or that, you can just, like, change biology and just change how humans work. Like, we're all here to reproduce, right? That's the kind of the point of all living things, is to reproduce and keep your species going. We all got here because two people were more or less attracted to one another. So feminists, I'm sorry, but like, you're not going to be able to stop men from being attracted to women, especially if you're walking around without a top on, or especially if you're like, you know, really trying to dress yourself up in provocative outfits. Yeah, men are going to stare at you. So I'm sorry, but you go find a different problem. Like, that's not a problem. That is not any kind of anything that people should, you know, be trying to make laws about, or trying to ban, or trying to silence the opinions of others. I totally do not support any kind of movement or idea that revolves around silencing the opinions and infringing upon the freedoms of other people. I think that it is absolute bullshit. It's not something that is morally acceptable to me. I think that if strangers out there want to call other people attractive or whistle at them, I think that that's totally fine and acceptable, especially since it's not violating them in any kind of way. So with that being said, take care, see you next time, and if you're attractive, you're going to get looked at, so deal with it.